So the PS5 has now been out for just over 2 years, and I think it's safe to say that the PS5 has been a huge success. Take away the fact that many still can't get their hands on it, I guess I should consider myself one of the lucky ones, right? Hey everyone, Love Gaming Retro is back with a new top 10 episode, and yes, we have seen some great titles that have been released for the PS5 over the last 2 years, including some of my all-time favourites, like The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. What a magnificent game that is, and of course the 3 games that are nominees for Game of the Year 2022 being Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, and of course God of War Ragnarok, which I'm still playing at the moment, and oh my word, what an amazing game. But do you think 2023 will be another huge success for the PS5? Well, let's take a look and dive right in with number 10, Forspoken. Now, although there have been some mixed opinions about this game, especially with the help of the very odd trailer that got released, which really didn't help things, more has been explained about the gameplay and all is looking pretty good. In case you are unaware, Forspoken is a game about a young woman named Frey Holland from New York City who is about to turn 21 years old. She finds herself transported to the beautiful and cruel world of Athia, where fantasies and nightmares are suddenly very real. In search of a way home, Frey must use her newfound magical abilities to traverse sprawling landscapes and battle monstrous creatures. Frey is outfitted with a variety of magical spells and combat styles that you can use and adapt depending on your preferred style of play. From long distance powers to close range spells, there's all manner of magical attacks to experiment with. With RPG elements such as crafting and upgrades, you can improve a variety of Frey's skills. Gear can also be equipped such as necklaces and capes to improve stats. In order to bring together realism with fantasy, Frey can use shards to paint patterns on her nails to make spellcasting more powerful. This has a release date of the 24th of January and it is already available for pre-ordering. Up at number 9, Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 4 Remake will be arriving this spring on the 24th of March, and finally this will only be getting a release on current gen consoles. Sorry to those who haven't got one yet, but it just means it can focus on ensuring the game can excel being on the latest consoles. In case you have never played the original, as this will be a remake for the current consoles, the story sees Leon Kennedy, who was the main character in Resident Evil 2, having to take on a dangerous adventure to rescue the American president's daughter, who has been abducted by a cult based in the rural part of Spain. Although there has been some info that Capcom will slightly change the story and script, which means we may get some surprises although being a remake. This game will bring back one of the greatest Resident Evil games, but now with even greater visuals, which again may be a good or bad thing, depending on how easily you get scared like me. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment if you love reviews and news on PlayStation games, as it will continue helping this channel grow. Moving right on to number 8, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Now this game interested me the minute I saw the demo being released on the PlayStation Plus feed, and I'm currently loving games based off ancient mythology. This game is based in ancient China where a militia soldier fights for survival in the chaotic 3 kingdoms. Although the main character is nameless, which seems pretty unusual, they will use swordplay of Chinese martial arts to battle demons in a dark fantasy world. It has said that this could be considered as a Nioh sequel, but it has been confirmed by the developers that it is its own game, with it also taking a huge influence from Souls-like games with no difficulty mode to choose and a full customization experience for your character. Although most games now are set in an open world experience, this will be a linear game filled with a range of weapons to get your hands on, but won't be consistently filled with loot or is loot focused. You'll be able to transition between offensive and defensive moves with a new mechanic called the morale system, which all we know at the moment is that you will gain morale by defeating strong opponents and can lose morale when dying. This game is scheduled to come out on the 3rd of March and a great way to start the spring season with some good old Chinese martial arts. At number 7, Dead Space. Oh no, I don't know about you, but I have a huge love-hate relationship with horror games. Worrying about every move I make, yet love the adrenaline of a monster suddenly appearing on the screen ready to eat me alive. And that is where Dead Space comes into the mix. With this also being another remake just like Resident Evil 4, EA has also confirmed that this will not come out on previous gen consoles, as they want to put all their focus on leveraging new gen technology to bring a totally new experience. In case you never played the 2008 original, this is set on a mining ship overrun with hostile creatures called necromorphs. You control the main character called Isaac Clarke, who is an engineer who gets unfortunately forced to aboard and repair the ship, find his missing partner, and save the rest of the crew before the creatures get to them first. What makes this even more interesting is that Isaac simply has to find anything he can within the ship that can be used as a form of weapon to defend himself and survive, and these creatures aren't exactly a piece of cake to destroy. Now this game is getting an early 2023 release on the 27th of January. Let's roll right into number 6, Final Fantasy 16. I'm going to start this one off with an embarrassing truth. I only downloaded Final Fantasy 7 Remake Interlude the other day and have put in a few hours. Other than that, I have never been interested in a Final Fantasy game ever. Slowly moving on, before you all get ready to make fun of me in the comments section, I have to say I'm already enjoying Final Fantasy 7 and I am extremely looking forward to Final Fantasy 16 when it arrives. Final Fantasy 16 will be giving us a brand new adventure with the main character being Clive and the story set in the land of Valisthea, if I've pronounced that correctly, where peace has started to weaken with the spread of the Blight, which threatens to destroy the Dominions. There are deadly creatures known as Econs that inhabit the world, and each Econ resides with individuals known as Dominants who are blessed with the ability to call upon these Econs. Clive will have plenty of abilities, which I am looking forward to, and although not completely confirmed, there is a leak that the developers are working on an easy mode for newcomers like myself. Although we don't have a release date confirmed, it has been said that this is aiming to be released for summer 2023. I guess that gives me more time to put some more hours into Final Fantasy 7. I don't know about you, but I simply love a cup of coffee, and I do find it's the only way to help me keep going and have the drive to continue building this YouTube channel with a nice lovely coffee. So if you want to see this channel grow and help me make this my full-time job, buy me a coffee with the link in the description. So what did you think of the first 5 games mentioned in this list? Well, with just reaching halfway, let's take a look at number 5, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Although we don't have a dedicated release date for this one, the developers are hoping for a spring 2023 release time, so not too long to wait. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is going to be much larger than any of the Rocksteady Batman Arkham games. Let's just take that in for a minute. The Arkham games were already insanely huge, with some racking over 100 hours on these games. As long as the game doesn't provide us with a repetitive gameplay experience, this could turn out to be a great, long, enjoyable experience. The story is set in an open world city where Metropolis is being invaded by an alien force, and Brainiac has somehow corrupted the minds of some of the most famous DC superheroes that call it home, turning the likes of Superman and Flash against the people they once vowed to protect. Therefore, it's now up to the Suicide Squad to save the day. This game's gameplay is expected to build on the flow and momentum exhibited in the Batman Arkham trilogy, and the scope of play will be massively expanded. Each one of them has a richer moveset, more things you can do, and more skill required to master them than you even had with the Batman game. Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, King Shark and Harley Quinn will each have their own unique melee and ranged weapons, as well as individual ways to traverse the city. Kinda sounding a little like Gotham Knights, but I won't be criticising that game today, as it's actually been a real joy to play. Contender for Game of the Year 2023? What do you think? Leave your comments below. Now at number 4, Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is making a change when it comes to controls and gameplay with a more simplified way available for newcomers. They have also brought in a new drive system which will let you charge up powerful attacks right from the start of a round. Although, use at your own risk, because once you do, it does burn out your character for a while. One big detail for fighting game fans is that the game will have rollback netcode along with full crossplay. Just to let you know in case you don't know what this is, this will allow you to be able to play with anyone who owns any console that this game is available on, therefore giving us a much better and bigger online multiplayer experience. The game will also feature a new real-time commentary feature as you fight for the first time, thanks to a new system that aims to add flavour to your fights. Very sort of FIFA-like. If you haven't seen the trailers already, go check it out. Another feature that's been added which I think will look really cool is the new splash effect that's being brought to the fight scenes when you perform combos. I feel like that's another reason to want to learn all the character combos, as I'm loving the way this looks already. Other than the year 2023, we have no other specifics of what month or quarter of the year this will be released. Moving on to number 3, Marvel's Wolverine. Another game where there will be no release for previous gen consoles, and unfortunately with this one we do not have a more specific release date other than 2023. However, why this is on the list is, for one, it is being developed by Insomniac Games, who were the developers of Marvel's Spider-Man game, as well as Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and I think you can all agree how hugely successful they both were, therefore giving us much hope that this game could even be a contender for Game of the Year 2023 perhaps. Although we don't know much about this game other than the revealed trailer that got released, the following leak does get me excited. While Ryan Schneider, head of franchise strategy at Insomniac, explained that this was a standalone game, he does drop this tease. Being able to build a new original universe with Spider-Man and now Wolverine is such an honor for so many of us at Insomniac Games. So we kind of get the feeling that Insomniac are getting excited about this game, making me getting excited about it as well. Moving on with number 2, Hogwarts Legacy. Now I've recently just done a video on this on my channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But this story is set in the 1800s of the wizard world and begins with you starting school in the 5th year of Hogwarts after somehow surviving a mysterious event. Your character seems to be tied into some ancient magic which will result in conflict with the Goblin Rebellion which Ranrock leads. You'll be able to attend classes which you'll be able to make friends who will be able to help you through some of the quests in the game as well. They will also be able to teach you abilities which you can use throughout the adventure. The majority of abilities you learn will be available to use through different styles of combat and solving puzzles. To support our combat experience, you will get access to a total of 20 spells that can be assigned to slots, with being able to build combos between these spells. Also, another game where I admire the customization experience with this is that it really provides a realistic approach to allowing you to build your character with not just body, facial feature changes, but also will be able to choose what type of voice your character has. Now that gets points in my book. Now what we have all been waiting for, what I feel is the most anticipated game at number 1, being Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Yes, another Insomniac game makes it into my top 10 with another superhero game, this time being Marvel's Spider-Man 2. This is set to continue the story of Peter Parker and Miles Morales as they face off against their most powerful foes yet. From the look of things, Venom is going to be one of them, with teases also pointing towards Green Goblin and Kraven the Hunter. This will be the second outing for both characters, who we last saw in Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales game. The trailer, which got released some time ago, which is only around 1.5 minutes long, but it offers us a fair amount of detail. For one, we see both Peter Parker and Miles Morales taking on fighting goons, suggesting we may get to play as both Spider-Men this time around. Now although we didn't get to see any gameplay, we briefly see a shot of Peter getting a power surge with his Iron Spider arms, suggesting suit powers may be making a return. This will solely be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Let's now take a look at some of the games that didn't quite make the list and why. Games that didn't make the cut for me are Skull and Bones by Ubisoft, as I personally don't think this will be a huge hit. Assassin's Creed Mirage, and the reason why it wasn't on the list is because first of all it's getting released at a cheaper price than usual, mainly probably because it was supposed to be a DLC but they've made it into a full game, and we haven't really seen any gameplay about the game either, so I'm very skeptical, and that's the reason why I left it off my list. Tekken 8, although I am a huge Tekken fan, I just don't think there will be as near as excitement compared to Street Fighter 6. So sorry Tekken. And last but not least, Avatar, as this is still up in the air whether it does come out in 2023, as well as not much we know about the game just yet, so I've left that off the list too. So what do you think of the top 10? Would you rearrange the order? Do you have different games that you are anxiously waiting for that I haven't mentioned? If so, let me know in the comment section below. Let's take a look at comment of the day from Parzival, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, saying, "It's nice to see someone else that's excited for the Callisto Protocol. I hope it's as good as they say it is. I wish you the best of luck with your channel. Cheers." Thanks Parzival for the comment and supporting the channel, and I also hope it's as good as they have made it out to be. Not long left before we can try it out and see for ourselves. Well, that's it from me. Subscribe and stay tuned, as I will be discussing another similar topic next week. Stay with Love Gaming Retro for much more reviews and news, all for you.